Yeah, so I don't know if a lot of you guys know, but um, I have plans to basically, I'm gonna do like a series of videos around topics around homelessness. So if you guys have any ideas, um, something that doesn't get spoken about or looked at or publicized, or some things that should be brought to the light around homelessness, if you have any ideas, um, write them in the comments and let me know, and I'll look through the comments, and I'll make some notes. I'll find some ideas that you guys give me and some topics, and I'll make a video around that. But I already have a big list that I got to get to of videos that I had ideas around, because I don't know if I really made it 100% clear, but I kind of just been just kind of having my head down, just grinding. I haven't been really making videos, because I ended up getting employed to an organization called the Existence Project. You can Google the organization. But yeah, how it happened was, obviously I went through homelessness off and on most of my life, and I ended up going to a place where they offered services for the homeless, like showers, laundry, a clean, sober environment that you can come when you're going through homelessness. And I ended up, they have certain programs there sometimes, and there was somebody named Marco that he owns the Existence Project. He's the creator, CEO of the Existence Project, and he basically created an organization and a platform around giving people with lived experience, an opportunity to tell their story, to try and help remove some of the stigma around homelessness, and the stigmas against homeless people, and the stereotypical ways of looking at homelessness. It really, shows people the truth, and the way society looks at homelessness is not accurate. Um, you know, um, it stems from trauma. It stems a lot from trauma, and that's what people can't see. You can't prove that. And the attitude of society is, oh, stop crying and stop bitching and get a job and shut up. Well, when something really, really, really bad happens to you, when you're a kid growing up and you have no parents and no family, and you get kicked out on the streets in a major city where there's demons and predators and gangsters and gangs, and people looking to harm you in the streets when you're just a child, and you have to grow up in that environment all of your life until you're an adult, and then you think, oh well, I'm an adult now, I can make my own decisions and choose to live a good life and work and earn. It doesn't work like that. That's not reality. Okay, so as soon as people realize that that isn't reality, the better off everybody's going to be, because contributing with negativity towards people that have been damaged in life, and that's why they're in the place that they're at in life. If you consider yourself a good person, I don't think you would want to contribute to somebody's downfall or their pain or suffering in any way, regardless if they're right or wrong. It's not in our it's not up to us to decide to contribute to other people's suffering and pain, regardless of your opinion. And this is why I'm here. So this is how I ran into the opportunity, and it gave me an opportunity to shed light on some of these things. Because when I was homeless, people treated me like a drug addict, and they treated me like a criminal, and I was neither. So the idea, this is mind-boggling to me, that people really think that the reason for homelessness is because of addiction, is because of alcoholism, is because of poor choices and decisions from that individual. That is like looking up, seeing that the sky is blue, and then calling it red. and swearing to God and being convinced that it's red. That's how delusional that point of view is. That is delusional, okay? That's what something may look like on the surface, but if you were to look at everything as it is on the surface and judge it for that, you would be wrong 9 times out of 10. That's not the way we operate. If you're an intellectual being with any type of real life traumatic or hardship experience, you don't look at things like that. But the majority of people are actually privileged and they don't even know it. Even the ones that say, I had to work since I was 15 years old. I already made a video talking about that. But guess what? When you were 15 years old, you had parents, you had a family, you had a grandma, you had somebody where you could go, you had a pillow, you had a bed to wake up on. How are you going to get up and go to work at 15 if you're sleeping on the fucking sidewalk? Yeah, okay. Is that my fault? At a 15-year-old, is that a 15-year-old's fault? Where's the parents, right? It starts with the foundation, okay? And people need to, fess up to that reality, is that it starts with the foundation. It starts with the parents. Of course, everybody has different circumstances. You may have been homeless at 15 years old, but you may have been homeless in the suburbs in BC versus homeless in a place like Toronto. Big difference, okay? There's another dynamic you're not adding into the equation. The people that grew up out here since a child, that say were abandoned homeless in the streets at 15 and had bad influences for parents in BC wouldn't even survive 30 days in Toronto homeless. Especially if you've already experienced homelessness in a place like this. It would be like going from a 5-star hotel to a dumpster. That's what it would be comparable to. So there's so many different dynamics that people don't consider. So even growing up in a place like BC is already an advantage. It's already a privilege, and people don't know that. See, then they don't look at it like that because they truly think that they've been through some hardship. It gets worse, okay? That hardship is nothing compared to what other people are going through across the country. It's everything is a joke to me in BC. Throw the hardest thing you got at me. I already went through it. It was homeless, on the street, shelters full, had to sleep on a bench in December. The shelters wouldn't even give me a blanket. No family, no friends, no parents, nobody. Me, that's it. Okay? Some people were born into, a family of criminals, a criminal lifestyle, a family that lives by a criminal code, and code of ethics, and, some people they have that background. That's just how it goes. But anyways, so back to, how I, this is basically, how I got employed to the Existence Project. And as a program developer and advocate of homelessness with lived experience and a public speaker. And so it kind of just turned into almost like a responsibility. It was like there was a need, for this to be confronted, by somebody with lived experience. I just ended up on the front line of that, and I ended up getting employed. And, Marco from the Existence Project gave me an opportunity, and I ran with it, and I'm still running with it. I even joined a peer support training program, and it's 6 weeks, and it's paid, and they pay you $25 an hour, but it's 2 hours every Wednesday over Zoom, obviously because of COVID. So if not, I would probably be, in a meeting room or setting, doing that training program. But I'm learning a lot, and you get a certificate, and it's peer support work. So they offer job opportunities after that, along those lines in that field of work, and then you're getting the training. So I'm gaining a lot of experience and a lot of opportunities just from pursuing that. I got Victoria News doing a documentary on me and all my life, and that's going to be published soon. With Kendra, she's the reporter for Victoria News and editor, and yeah, I haven't made a video really talking in detail about what's going on in my life and what I'm doing, but you know, it just kind of just happened, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I'm a street kid, you know, got a criminal record. You know, I never thought I could do this stuff. Never would have thought I could be a part of this, but it just happened, you know. So I'm just going with it, and it feels good, you know. It feels like I'm giving some type of value with my experience instead of always being in a position of need. It feels good to be able to contribute somehow, you know, with your lived experience and add, you know, your voice. And there's some holes in the system, and there's systematic corruption, and there's some flaws within society, and some misconceptions, you know, and stigmas that need to be removed. And if society wants the quality of homelessness to improve, you know, don't sit there and complain and bitch about it and hate on it, and hate on the homeless person, the broken down, disabled, you know, traumatized, you know, damaged emotionally to no return individual that you're attacking and you're preying on from a position of power to somebody that's vulnerable. You know what I mean? That's cowardly. So you know, if society is going to complain about something, you better be willing to contribute to the solution. And if you don't know what the solution is, and you think there is no solution, well, then that's your own limitations of your own mindset. There is solutions, and homelessness can be fixed, and it should have never happened in the first place in a country like Canada. It comes down to greed, okay, and misconception again. Okay, it's the incorrectness of society and their perspective on homelessness and the system, in the way the system and society treats homelessness. It is contributing to homelessness. It is creating more homelessness, and it's creating more drug users. How do I know? I spent 15 years in the streets with nobody, and I felt the wrath of that. And guess what? I was a sharp-looking, good-looking young man that society tried to call me a junkie and call me a drug addict and call me a loser and a lazy bum and all this shit. And guess what I did? I flexed on them and I proved them wrong. I was one of the first to do it, man. Like, I just, you know what I mean? You picked the wrong guy to bully. You picked the wrong guy to bully. I will smash the bullies. You guys are not as tough as you think. You know what I'm saying? I spent lots of time in the streets and in jail, and I know what tough is. You know what I'm saying? So, and even me, like, I don't go and prey on the weak or pick on the homeless or the drug addict or anything like that. Like, even if I am mad, or even if I am disappointed in what's going on or whatever, it's just I understand from a true perspective of what that person endured in their life, and I understand why they're distorted. You know what I mean? So why am I, you know, they're already fucked. You know what I mean? Why am I, you know, they already got fucked over. You know what I'm saying? They already got hurt. They're already damaged. What the fuck? Why would I, you know what I mean? They're already broken. Leave them alone. You know what I'm saying? Help them. You know, stop spreading negativity. So now I have an opportunity to do that. Like I said, I'm doing that training. And then also, GVAT invited me to be a part of their mental health and research team, because they come up with solutions, you know, around a lot of these topics, and also housing solutions. There's holes in the housing system, and I can point that out. And they came to one of my workshops. GVAT participated in one of my workshops, which GVAT's an organization, a very large organization. That's, you know, they're all over the world. You know, not just in Canada. It's a large organization, from, you know, and yeah, so they see my workshop and they said, you know what, he has a lot of good input that we could use on our mental health and research team. You know, there's parties of individuals that are literally only employed because of homeless people exist. They wouldn't even have a job if it wasn't for homeless people. So why not have somebody that was homeless be involved in the conversation? You're profiting from homelessness. You're profiting off of somebody's, but with the right intent. People have intent to help and create change. It's just the system is such a large, it's such a huge thing. It's not something that you can just change overnight or like in a month. You know what I mean? It's gonna take years and years and years to undo even what was done, to even start making progression in the right direction. But it has to start now. And I think there's pressure on the government because of COVID And there's a lot of publicity on it right now, and people are saying, as a country being like Canada, we lead by example in this country. And that's what made us Canada, that's what made us unique. And we don't have an excuse to be having this homelessness issue other than greed and just rejection from society. And just like I said, you know what I mean, like, we have an abundance of thing. Like, we're in the most abundant country in the world, and you're telling me that we can't do better than this? Of course we can. It's the way that society and the system is programmed incorrectly. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of corruption. There was a lot of greed, bad intent behind certain things, and people were closed out of the deal as a result. And that's not right. So, and then people just decided to turn their face from it. But anyways, so good things are happening, for me right now. I mean, I try not to get too comfortable, because anything that good that happens in my life usually doesn't last long, and it's really just like, I don't know. I mean, this seems this seems good. What I'm doing right now is purposeful, and it has meaning, and I'm meeting a lot of good people, and I'm seeing a lot of positive things. And it's been a great positive experience for me, really. You know what I mean? I was homeless like 8 months ago. I've advanced pretty fast, and that's just who I am. You know what I mean? But I just want to let you guys know. So the organization's called the